The newest RecCon original, known as My Little Monsters, was just revealed at this year's RecCon. And so far, we know a lot about it, and apparently, we'll even be getting a demo soon, which is pretty cool. So today, I want to talk about what we know about My Little Monsters so far, as well as what I personally want out of it. I also asked what my community thought would be in the new RecCon original, so I will also be discussing what they thought. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider supporting me by going to my profile at HeyWerewolf and pressing the big support button. I'm trying to get the video partner hoodie, and I am so close to it, so anything helps. With that being said, let's first talk about what we know. My Little Monsters is the first roleplay RecCon original, and it will feature pet little monsters that you can raise. The monsters are based off of cryptids, which are creatures that are theorized to exist but not proven. And right now, the cryptids that we know are coming are the Sasquatch, the Chupacabra, and Mothman. And we know all of this because we were told the name of the town that My Little Monsters takes place in, Cryptid Creek. And some staff members also showed off playing cards that they received showing the names of these monsters. We were also told that we would be able to, quote, uncover the secret origins of these monsters, so I'm assuming we'll get some sort of lore behind them, I don't know. And lastly, we were told in the RecCon Discord that we would get more cryptids added in the full release of the game. And yeah, that's pretty much all we've been told so far. We don't even know whether we'll be able to take the monsters out of the RecCon original or not, which I know a lot of people, including me, want added. Like I said before, this is a lot more than what we usually get told about RecCon originals, and we know that there's a demo coming soon, which is really exciting. Right now though, I want to talk about what I personally want added to the game, as well as some predictions that I have. Firstly, let's talk about the town, or more specifically, what will be in the town. All we know right now is that the town is called Cryptid Creek, and that it will probably take place in a foresty type area, which isn't really a lot to go off of. But with that information, as well as the pieces of information that I talked about earlier, we can definitely predict what will be in this town more easily. So to start off, I think there will 100% be some sort of pet shop added to Cryptid Creek. Every single game like My Little Monsters, for example, Roblox's Adopt Me, has pet shops where you can buy stuff like treats, toys, and even clothes for your pets, so I think it's pretty safe to say that My Little Monsters will include it as well. Now, as for what will actually be included in this pet shop, one thing I'm certain about is that there will 100% be a merch booth for your avatars. Pretty much every RecCon original game has a merch booth so that you can buy clothes for your avatar, so I think it's pretty safe to say that My Little Monsters will include one as well, and even if it's not in the pet shop, well, it's got to be somewhere, right? And obviously, in the pet shop, there will be things that you can buy for your pet, like clothes, treats, toys, stuff like that. Okay, next, this one's way more of a wild card than the last one, but I think there will 100% be some sort of campsite area in Cryptid Creek. I know this is really boring, but hear me out, okay? Maybe this is just me, but adding a campsite area to a town called Cryptid Creek that takes place in a foresty type area with monsters just seems right to me. And it would be a good place to hang out with your friends if you wanted to. Okay, next I want to talk about the pets, or cryptid monsters, or whatever you want to call them. We already know that we're getting the Chupacabra, Mothman, and the Sasquatch in the demo, and that we'll be getting more in the full release, but what will we be getting in the full release? Well, like I said before, these monsters are based off of popular creatures that are theorized to exist in real life, otherwise known as cryptids. And you can find multiple lists of different cryptids on Wikipedia, the cryptid fandom, or really any other website. You also have to keep in mind that a lot of popular cryptids are very similar to ones that we already have in the game. And I highly doubt that RecCon will add cryptids that already look similar to Mothman, Sasquatch, or the Chupacabra. If you want an example of this, one of the most popular cryptids is the Yeti, but since it looks so similar to the Sasquatch, I don't think RecCon would add it. So here are some of the monsters that I personally think will be added to the game, as well as some that I personally want. Before I do though, I would just like to say that the rules for being a cryptid are very confusing. I did a lot of research for this video, and it seems like there's a lot of discussion between what creatures are or are not cryptids. And from what I saw, it seems like everyone has a different opinion on this. For this video, I ended up including some of these controversial cryptids. And I'll let you know whether these cryptids that I talk about are controversial or not, because I want to see your thoughts about whether they're cryptids or not down in the comments. Okay, with all of that being said, the first cryptid that I think will be added to the game is the Loch Ness Monster, also known as Nessie. This is considered to be one of the most popular cryptids ever, and the design of Nessie is one that we don't have in Rec Room yet, so it's a no-brainer in my opinion. Okay, the second is the Thunderbird. It's unknown whether any other cryptids like Mothman will be able to fly around for now, but if they are able to, I think more than one flying creature would be very nice to have, which is why I think the Thunderbird is perfect. Although now that I think about it, the Thunderbird is really big, like bigger than us, so I'm not entirely sure how they would add that. Okay, the third is the Jackalope, and while it's very cute, this is unfortunately one of the controversial monsters that I was talking about earlier. Like I said before, the Jackalope has a really cute design that I think RecCon could pull off very nicely, which is why I wanted to include it here. However, a lot of people consider the Jackalope to not be a cryptid since it's more of a mythical creature like a unicorn. However, the Jackalope is also on the cryptid wiki, and a lot of people also think that it is a cryptid, so I have no idea. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Okay, the fourth is Owlman, and before you say anything, I know that this is similar to Mothman, but just hear me out on this, okay? I personally think that Mothman looks really, really cool, and I think that RecCon could pull off the design really well to the point where it doesn't look similar to Mothman at all. And like I said before, a lot of flying monsters would just be very nice to have in my opinion. Okay, the fifth cryptid is the werewolf, and there is definitely no reason why I'm bringing this up whatsoever. Nope, definitely not. Okay, but for real, the werewolf is also one of the controversial ones that I was talking about earlier. Mainly because a cryptid is, by definition, a new type of species, which a werewolf technically isn't. It's just a human with a supernatural ability. Like I said before though, let me know what you think down in the comments, because I know there's also a lot of people that do think it's a cryptid. The sixth and last cryptid that I personally want added to Rec Room is the Loveland Frog. Mainly because the Loveland Frog has a design that we don't have yet, and I would love to see Rec Room pull this off. Also, fun fact, the Loveland Frog is from Loveland, Ohio, so shout out to anyone who lives there. Okay, lastly, I want to talk about what my community thinks will be in My Little Monsters. I asked my community on both the YouTube community tab and my Discord server, which you should go join by the way, the link's in the description. So here are some of the responses that I personally liked. So first, Blinky B says that a dinosaur would be insane to have, and I kind of agree with them. While dinosaurs are technically not classed as cryptids as far as I know, there are a few cryptids that actually do look like dinosaurs, so I think the next best thing would be to add one of those cryptids. Okay, next, Who's Nate says that something similar to Pokeballs to keep your monsters in would be pretty cool to have. And the reason why I included this is because I have a small hunch that the new Rec Room version will include a battling system for your monsters like in Pokemon. And the main reason why I think this is because of the trading cards that staff showed off. And in my opinion, this would be really cool to have and encourage a lot of people to play the Rec Room original. Okay, next, Cascade says that a similar progression system to Make It to Midnight where you can unlock stuff for your monsters would be really cool to have. This would honestly be really cool and would encourage a lot of people to play the Rec Room original. And lastly, Bacon VR says that a monster that looks like a mini version of yourself would be pretty cool to have, and I personally agree with this. However, I don't think Rec Room would actually add something like this, since I think they're more focused on adding cryptid monsters instead of just random pets. That's just me though, and if you enjoyed this video, then please consider liking and subscribing. And with that being said, I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.